The somnambulist William Wordsworth list, ye who pass by Leulf's tower at eve. How softly then doth air force, that torrent hours, speak from the woody glen. Fit music for a solemn vale. And holier seems the ground to him who catches on the gale the spirit of a mournful tale, embodied in the sound. Not far from that fair site whereon the pleasure house is reared, as story says, in antique days a stern-browed house appeared. Foil to a jewel rich and light there set, and guarded well. Cage for a bird of plumage bright, sweet-voiced, nor wishing for a flight beyond her native dell. To win this bright bird from her cage, to make this gem their own, came barons bold, with store of gold, and knights of high renown. But one she prized, and only one. Sir Eglamour was he. Full happy season, when was known, ye dales and hills. To yon alone our mutual loyalty. Know chiefly, Era. To thy glen, thy brook, and bowers of holly. Where passion caught what nature taught, that all but love is folly. Where fact with fancy stooped to play. Doubt came not, nor regret to trouble hours that winged their way, as if through an immortal day whose sun could never set. But in old times love dwelt not long sequestered with repose. Best throve the fire of chaste desire, fanned by the breath of foes. Ampersand quo. A conquering lance is beauty's test, ampersand quo. And proves the lover true. Ampersand quo. So spake Sir Eglamour, and pressed the drooping Emma to his breast, and looked a blind adieu. They parted. Well with him it fared through widespread regions errant. A night of proof in love's both, the thirst of fame his warrant, and she her happiness can build on woman's quiet hours. Though faint, compared with spear and shield, the solace beads and masses yield, and needlework and flowers. Yet blessed was Emma when she heard her champion's praise recounted. Though brain would swim, and eyes grow dim, and high her blushes mounted. Or when of old heroically she warbled from full heart. Delightful blossoms for the May of absence. But they will not stay, born only to depart. Hope wants with her, while luster fills whatever path he chooses. As if his orb, that owns no curb, received the lighters loses. He comes not back. An ampler space requires for nobler deeds. He ranges on from place to place, till of his doings is no trace, but what her fancy breeds. His fame may spread, but in the past her spirit finds its center. Clear sight she has of what he was, and that would now content her. Ampersand quo. Still is he my devoted knight? Ampersand quo. The tear in answer flows. Month falls on month with heavier weight. Day sickens round her, and the night is empty of repose. In sleep she sometimes walked abroad, deep sighs with quick words blending, like that pale queen whose hands are seen with fancied spots contending. But she is innocent of blood, the moon is not more pure that shines aloft, while through the wood she threads her way, the sounding flood her melancholy lore. While mid the fern brakes leaps the doe, and owls alone are waking, in white arrayed, glides on the maid the downward pathway taking, that leads her to the torrent's side and to a holly bower. By whom on the still night descried? By whom in that lone place espied? By thee, Sir Eglamour. A wandering ghost, so thinks the knight, his coming step has thwarted, beneath the boughs that heard their vows, within whose shade they parted. Hush, hush, the busy sleeper see. Perplexed her fingers seem, as if they from the holly tree green twigs would pluck, as rapidly flung from her to the stream. What means the spectre? Why intent to violate the tree, thought Eglamour, by which I swore, unfading constancy? Here am I, and tomorrow's sun, to where I left, shall prove that bliss is ne'er so surely won as when a circuit has been run of valour, truth, and love. So from the spot whereon he stood, he moved with stealthy pace. And, drawing nigh, with his living eye, he recognized the face. And whispers caught, and speeches small, some to the green-leaved tree, some muttered to the torrent fall. Ampersand quo. Roar on, and bring him with thy call. Ampersand quo. I heard, and so may he. Ampersand quo. Soul-shattered was the night, nor knew if Emma's ghost it were, or boding shade, or if the maid her very self stood there. He touched. What followed he shall tell? The soft touch snapped the thread of slumber, shrieking back she fell, and the stream whirled her down the dell along its foaming bed. In plunged the night. When on firm ground the rescued maiden lay, her eyes grew bright with blissful light, confusion passed away. She heard, ere to the throne of grace her faithful spirit flew, his voice beheld his speaking face, and, dying, from his own embrace, she felt that he was true. So was he reconciled to life, brief words may speak the rest. Within the dell he built a cell, and there was sorrow's guest. In hermit's weeds repose he found, from vain temptations free. Beside the torrent dwelling bound by one deep heart-controlling sound, an odd piety. Wild stream of era, hold thy course, nor fear memorial lays, where clouds that spread in solemn shade, are edged with golden rays. Dear art thou to the light of heaven, though minister of sorrow. Sweet is thy voice at pensive even, and thou, in lovers' hearts forgiven, shalt take thy place with Yarrow.